Hey, how's it going? This is Brian from B's Music Shop, and I'm here with Joe, and he has been coming to this show how long now?
Oh, gosh. I guess I missed the first two, and I've been at every show since.
So you've been 31 years of drum shows you've been coming. You've been coming longer than me. I mean, I've been coming to the Chicago show 22 years.
I'm older than you. Yeah.
You don't look it.
Oh, come on. Anyway.
Yeah,
well, no,
anyways.
I'm 96, so but that's metric.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Anyway.
I was like, you're not 96.
Come on.
Come on. What'd you bring this
so
year?
Anyway, I brought some drums.
You have some
I
drums.
brought drums this year.
Let's see what you brought. What's this?
The rarest drum in my collection is this drum right here. 1913, it was patented. This is a three-way tuning drum. You see these little thumb screws at the bottom?
Yeah.
That's one screw turns the top, one screw turns the bottom, and both together tune both heads at the same time. So that's the first three-way tuning drum way before Billy Gladstone patented his with the Gretch ThreeWay. 1913, and the patent is right on the. It's an A.M. Hoskins, although that probably gives it away right there. Let's pick it up.
Let's pick it up.
Let's pick it up. Kind of fun. It's made in Minneapolis, my hometown. Patented November 5th, 1913. Even got a nice little fun throw off on it there.
That's cool.
And so anyway, that started the three-way drums. The next, I call these 9 ways. If you do the math, 3 times 3 is 9. That's how yeah. I'm not that old. Okay.
Got it.
Anyway, this is the second three-way drum, a Gretch Gladstone. Gretch ThreeWay Gladstone, very ornate, nice Art Deco. On these, I should have had the keys I have on the wall because I don't want them to accidentally end up in somebody's pocket. We'll give you just a quick demonstration on the Gretch Gladstone. And inside, if you can see that wacky, here, let's pull that off. You can see that the muffler system, cable. Can you see that moving? It's crazy.
Cool.
That's crazy. Anyway.
What does that do? It's facing away from me.
It's a muffler. Look.
Oh, man.
It's got a cable system and the key will, one side tunes the top head, one side tunes the bottom head, and the other side tunes them both at the same time. And back in the day of calfskin heads, your bottom head could get soggy if it was damp out, so if you had humidity and moisture. So this way you could tune the drum from the top, and the bottom and the top head, both from the top. Billy Gladstone liked that because when he played at Radio City Music Hall, he would come out up from the basement or whatever, lower level, and some humidity would be a factor, and that way he could tune his drum from the top. He wouldn't have to take it and flip it over. So that was calfskin heads. Now with plastic heads, we really don't need that. But
1939.
1939, right there.
That's quite a drum key too. Wow.
Yeah, three-way. It's a three-way. Yeah, that's the actual Gretsch key there. And here's the key for the. Billy Gladstone later made his own drums. They were called Billy Gladstone drums. Clever.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Where do you get the name from?
Anyway,
so you can see little changes. Double post holding this. He used a little improved mechanism for the three-way tuning, but still pretty much the same drum. And those are the
9 ways.
9 ways, the three-way drums. Okay, this is kind of a fun one. This is the only thing I have that is not vintage.
Not vintage.
Well, it's a vintage drum from the 20s, but it was Lwig Gold, but the gold would always turn mustard yellow or just ugly color or fall off. On this drum, a fellow named Dale Latula out in Massachusetts had the whole thing gold plated.
Wow.
And even the inside of the drum, you can see the gold plating. Everything is gold plated. Kind of funny. These are on there because when I travel in a car, I don't buzz. I get buzzes everywhere, so that stops the buzzing. Even he had 60s wires, he had those gold plated, which is kind of funny. Kind of funny. But
everything but the heads.
Yep, everything's but the head. It's all gold plated.
That's cool.
And speaking of gold plating, Brian,
Okay, speaking gold plating.
this is a beautiful drum, white marine pearl. This would be a super sensitive, gold plated with, it's just with the calfskin heads, all the colors just go. Doesn't that just, it's a pretty drum.
Yeah.
And being a super sensitive, it has wires under the top head and the bottom head.
Nice.
There we
That's
go.
cool.
Now
Lwig
here-
and Lwig.
Here's a real rare bird. This is probably the only one in the world. This right here, we're familiar with this finish, the top hat finish.
Yeah.
It's not top hat in Canada. Lwig called it top hat in the 40s. Well, let's start with Lwig. Here's the Lwig. There's quite a few of these known, and there's sets known. Very rare collectible finish, beautiful condition. This would be a 1941 drum. But so then Lwig, then later on,
That's funny.
Leedy and Lwig, they probably had a piece of wrap laying around, and so they did a drum with it. Now this is 1954, so this is 70 years old.
Wow.
And but anyway, it was just a piece left over, so it's kind of a one of a kind because Leedy never offered this color anymore.
They just had it there.
Leedy and Lwig, I should say.
Yeah.
Because there was a Lwig and Lwig color.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just have probably someone was laying around. Like I say, Lwig called it top hat. Leedy probably called it, hey, look what I found.
Yeah.
We
bought a bunch of stuff.
Let's do a drum.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. They did a drum. Up here, my remote control. We have that drum. That way or that way? That would be put together by George Way. It's a 15-inch parade drum, and you'll notice 8 different colors. What's interesting is, I hope it's interesting, when it comes around, I'll show you there's 2 versions of black diamond pearl. There were. I do have a speed control, but I'm not going to. And I'm going to stop it right.
Oh.
Oh! Wait a minute here. Next year, I want to put it on a Roomba and let it travel around the show on its own.
That'd be great.
I just let it go.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
See, have a go exploring.
Yeah, go have
It'd end up
fun.
with Randy.
You can bump in. Yeah, it would end up with Randy. That's the. Yeah. Anyway. So you see 2 versions of black diamond pearl they had back then. This would be in the 1950s. George Way, the predecessor to Campco drums. Okay. Here's a wacky set right here.
Yeah.
This is a Rogers Dayton. This would be a later 60s. It's a 14 by 18, 8 by 12 and a 14 by 14. But somebody took the hoops off and put Rogers triple flange hoops on it.
Yeah.
So so they probably did that many, many years ago because they didn't want hoops, and it's on a little riser.
Yeah.
So kind of a fun little drum. And
Some bop.
Yep.
Do a little bopping.
Here's a kit right there. There's a typical, very classic Gretch 2012-14 with a matching snare. That's in mint condition. There's not a scratch on it. Even the bottom of the bass drum or the back of the tom where the snare would hit into it, never did. So this set is mint. It's about as nice as you get. Now we'll go over this little
We'll
guy
do this
here.
one.
We're going to pass up this. How could we pass up this? This is a little 6.5 by 18 marching bass drum from the 60s.
Oh.
And so I happened to concoct a tiny little 1-trip set, a little bit. So
There you go. And you even got the cajon
Yeah,
throne.
so if you want to play one hand on the cajon and the other with the drums, you have options. This set you have options.
You need options.
Well, I do.
That's my kind of weight kit anymore. I feel like that's
the lighter it is, the better it sounds. The harder you carry it. But okay, Brian, we're coming on over here.
We're coming around
here.
here.
On over here.
Here, I'll do this, and then I gotta turn around. Give me 1 second.
I'm giving it. Oh, my throat.
Oh,
My
no.
voice is going, and it's not even Sunday.
Oh.
Okay. Anyway,
Got your mic out. You're putting your mic away with your joke.
Okay. Anyway, autographs of the stars. This is a real classic leady finish. You see it, all their
so
stars
clean.
autographed it. Of course, one thing, you hate to be the guy who autographs it when a lug goes right over your name. It's like, ouch.
That would have been me.
I got lugged out.
Yeah.
So if you bought the drum, you wanted to make sure that well, put it this way, Sonny Greer, they never lugged out Sonny Greer. Yeah.
He was like their guy.
Yeah, Sonny Greer was their guy. So he always, I don't know where he is on here, but he's in here twice, but it was important. But pretty cool set, drum, and these sets a lot of times did not come with the floor tom. So it's kind of weird. I have a floor tom and not a set.
Yeah.
But it takes less room.
You just got to find someone with deep pockets.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to buy the set.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get the
No,
floor.
I'm saying they're gonna hit you up.
Yeah,
for the floor
that's
top.
it. That's it. I'll give you a cut, Brian.
Okay, I'll let you in. Yeah.
Nice plugged up.
Here, I'll just back up.
And last,
Oh, this is nice. I love Campcos.
I've been known throughout the years as a real Campco nut. That's what I play mostly, Campco. And this is a typical my set. This is for show, but the 20 bass, 12, 14, and a matching snare, which were common for Campco. Their number one endorser would be Nick Cerulli with Tijuana Brass.
Nice.
And another favorite of mine would be Eddie Knight, who would come to the show. Eddie was an endorser, hung out at the factory. As a kid, he hung out at the George Way factory, and they nicknamed him Bebop.
Okay.
So he had great stories. He passed away last year, unfortunately, but he would come to the show, and it was always a treat to have Eddie at the show because he was an endorser for every year of the first era of Campco, which are Oaklawn.
Yeah.
And then they went to Schnutt, and then they went to LA. But Oaklawns are the ones I kind of play.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I really like.
That's cool.
And yeah, so beautiful set, mint condition, and
Your sets all look like they're new. They're so clean. They're very clean.
I have one more drum, and we can close it, Brian. You can wait right there. I'm gonna get.
Oh, you're gonna come to me. You're gonna come to me.
I'm gonna bring it to you. Now, I'm from Minnesota. We have a beer called Ham's Beer,
Okay.
and this would be a 2 1/4 gallon drum right here. Meaning, I had a little beer keg. It's a beer keg, and I had it cut out so I could put a head. Here we go.
All right.
Do you know a Ham's Beer?
Oh yeah.
Okay. From the land of sky blue waters, land of lopped off pines and dead birch trees, comes the beer refreshing. Ham's the beer refreshing. Hams.
And
Okay,
that was from Ham's.
Yeah, we went commercial, didn't we?
Yeah. It's a little before my time.
I know it is. I know. Yeah.
That's when did you have this made? Recently?
Okay, this was in the 80s. I was playing full time, and I figured I'm going to make a whole drum set out of kegs. I was going to do a 16-gallon bass drum, 2 1/4 gallon top tom, and a 8-gallon floor tom. And then I brought it to the machine shop, and it cost me $60 to cut this thing out. I just said, God, it's going to cost me $500 to make this silly set. So I left it at this.
You quit while you were ahead.
Yeah, I was smart enough and broke enough at that time. Well, probably won't. Smart enough not to go ahead with it. Yeah. So anyway.
Hey, last thing I want to do is you have any good Rob stories? Because this is Rob's last year being in charge of the drum show. He's handing it off this year.
I know. God, Rob, I love the guy. I tell you what, Rob has done so much for me and all of us. His books, the show, he's just done so much. I really can't thank him enough. Yeah. And I don't know, as far as Rob's stories, I thought a real funny one was Rob was a real idea man. You know? He is an idea man. And also he has this gift of bringing all these people, this wonderful, Rob and crew. The crew is wonderful.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian.
I've been on the crew. Wonderful. I have been on the crew.
Yeah.
You used to always buy us pizza. I never forgot that.
Anyway, so one idea Rob had many years ago was to have a pajama party.
Oh no.
Yeah, and It was at one of the old buildings. I think it's a glorified Quonset hut or barn or what. I think they would hose out the manure and then we'd set up the drums in there. It was raw. It was raw, put it that way. And anyway, so Rob decided to have a pajama party. He thought that would be a good idea to sleep over with our drums in the building. And only one person did it. That was Bob Rickman. And I think it got down into the 30s that night. So I think he was freezing. I think he got locked in there. I don't know, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah. So, but that was one of the ideas that Rob had that I really got a kick out of. But I mean, Rob, thank you. And crew, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's great. He's going to have more time to write more books is his plan.
That's right. And I hear he might be here next year with a booth.
Yeah.
That's word on the street. So that'd be great.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for talking to me, Joe. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.